Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brian Carter. We're here with Otto Voit, and we're going to be investigating what you're doing with the election. Also talking about his press conference today and some of the things he's going to talk about. So, for those that don't know you, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Otto Voit. I'm running for Pennsylvania State Treasurer. I started this journey about a year and a half ago. I quit my full-time job because I had a calling to go into public service. So I started this campaign in prayer, and in 2 weeks I'm going to end it in prayer.
Okay. Now, what is the press conference for, and what are some of the things you're going to be addressing?
The press conference, and I'm extremely pleased and humbled to announce my statewide African American Advisory Committee.
Okay.
Made up of people throughout the entire state who's going to be on this advisory team, whether they be from business, finance, faith, and education communities.
Okay.
And this same group will be part of the transition team, and some will actually be on the team once I'm in office,
Right.
to ensure that the programs that I talk about are meeting the needs of the communities that we really want to make a difference in, and just bring hope and opportunities to people and communities that heretofore didn't exist.
Right. Okay. Can you investigate some of the initiatives that you're going to be bringing to light?
Sure. It's all wrapped around what we're calling the Hope Initiative.
Okay.
The first part of it is financial literacy. That throughout the entire state and all of our communities, to work with organizations such as OIC, who train people to have skills in the, let's say, go into hospitality field, and along with that will be financial literacy.
Okay.
Having a checkbook, a savings account, if they can, learn about mortgages and rent and leasing versus buying, saving for that rainy day, or what I call the day of misfortune.
Yeah.
When a car breaks down or the water heater goes. So when they start earning money, okay, they know what to do with it.
Right.
And the second part is creating an internship program for what I call kids without connections.
Okay.
Because going through neighborhoods in Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, Chester, and Philadelphia, such as 8th and York, kids are they're fighting every day, one, to stay alive,
Right.
and second, to find a way out. And that's where the whole Hope Initiative came, because without hope, there is no life.
Yeah.
And these kids don't have connections. Well, they're going to have one now in the Treasury. So by working with the Advisory Council and going to these neighborhoods, kids who can make it out, I want to have an internship program in the Treasury. So they can learn about investments, credit, banking, accountability and transparency plan. They may never pursue those careers, but the fact that they have an opportunity, and they'll put something on their resume which will get them a hand up.
I definitely agree with a lot of those initiatives. I believe that's something that a lot of people need. A lot of young people need here in the city. Definitely being able to get into those spaces where they can begin to establish connections.
Yeah, because I've been in neighborhoods, let's say here in Philadelphia at 8th and York.
Okay.
And already we've been able to make a difference, working with like a Terry Starks.
Right.
That bringing attention to neighborhoods that heretofore there is no attention. And there's so much violence, and kids are ending up in caskets.
Yeah.
And so the idea is they have a program called I Want to Live. So it teaches the kids about respect, and you want to live, and to providing hope and opportunity. We've already made a difference, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting elected and truly making a difference in all our communities.
That sounds definitely like a plan. Now, what is it that you want attendees to take away from your event today?
It's my intention to transform, the treasurer's office. that I'll be a treasurer like no other treasurer in the history of Pennsylvania. Because the true role of the state treasurer constitutionally is to be the chief financial officer of the state.
Right.
But nobody before me has had that experience to do it, so they couldn't speak out on economic issues or really to come up with the programs that I'm working with the advisory council today on. So that's a blessing, and that's where I found my voice, truly to make a difference in all the lives all across Pennsylvania. And that by working together, regardless of what party you are, regardless of what color you are, that if we come together and work to solve our problems, okay, we can do that. And that's why I want this office to be transformational, to bring hope and opportunity to these communities.
Okay. Now, with these communities that you're speaking about,
Yeah.
are they unspoken communities, underdeveloped communities, and why specifically these communities that you're talking about?
So the answer is yes, because I truly found my voice. Because in America, unless all communities are represented, then we have failed as a society. How can one community succeed and another community not succeed because people aren't paying attention to that area?
Right.
So it's the idea to bring attention to these areas, because we have to have hope, we have to have economic development, okay, in these communities. So the very politicians who work those areas now, if they're ignoring the areas, then who's going to shed light? Who's going to bring opportunity to these areas?
Right.
And that's what I want to do, and that is my passion. Yes, to grow Pennsylvania. Everybody in Pennsylvania benefits, but to focus in on these areas that are underserved, some of the highest crime rates in Pennsylvania. We have to work together to solve that problem, and that's what I want to do.
Okay. I'm hearing the passion definitely coming from everything that you're saying. I feel like right now is definitely a vital time for young people, with the number of young people that just been ending up in caskets just from violence, and the necessity to definitely take care of our future, because essentially that's what we need to do. If we're not taking care of our future, what exactly are we doing?
Right. Exactly.
Now, before we wrap everything up, what do you want people to understand what you bring to the table? What is it that people will know that you stand for, whether or not you do get elected as treasurer?
One, that I'm a different politician. That I want to walk the walk.
Right.
I want to earn everybody's respect by doing, by working with everybody in these communities, by having the advisory council, and by what I'm saying, firing Wall Street. I'm going to hire Pennsylvania investment advisors, of which 20% of them will be minority owned.
Okay.
Less than 1% of the money invested by the state goes to minority communities. Also, there's a problem with minority-owned companies getting bonding, which you have to do in order to get certain state contracts. So, who is working on their behalf and with them? Okay, and that's what I want to do. I was called to run to make a difference.
Okay.
And that's what I intend on doing. And by standing together today, okay, there's no doubt that if we all stand together, we can make a difference.
I definitely believe that. My final question: with all the conversations around race, how has that affected your race to become treasurer, and have you encountered some type of difficulty articulating your language, your message across different people?
Good question. I don't think I've had difficulty, because I think we stand together, and those who truly want to make a difference, regardless of color, are coming together.
Right.
Those who do it for political purposes, okay, you can smell them a mile away.
Right.
Right. So, are we going to make a difference? Are we going to stand together? And those are the people that I've met all across the state. And I believe we're looking for somebody that we can work with. Okay. And I want to be that catalyst.
Right.
I can't solve every problem. Okay. But by God, we can get together and work our butts off to help our communities.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Otto Voit.
Yes.
Brian Carter, main Course PHL.